Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Jeff at
Hello.
GeekDriven, and we are here for another episode of Movie and Shows where we're going to go ahead and review episode 3 of Ms. Marvel, and I believe it's called Destined. We have a special guest here. We have Candice Barbosa.
Hi
How are
guys.
you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to finally. I know we've been talking about this for a while, and I was like, I was on vacation, so I wasn't able to join last week. But yeah, I've been really looking forward to talking some Ms. Marvel with you guys.
I know I'm excited. I'm so happy that you got to come back from vacation, and I can't wait. This is a very Candace-centric kind of week anyway, so why not
Yes.
start with a little Ms. Marvel?
Kicking
How
it
about you,
off.
Alonzo? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm super excited. This episode was so good. I mean, it's like totally building on each and every episode that I cannot wait to talk about it. And we have Candace here, and this is like my first time like being on a show with Candace, and I'm super
Yes.
excited. So I mean, this is gonna be great.
Yes, ditto. This is my first time with Candace on the
Yeah.
panel, so I can't wait. I'm excited about Ms. Marvel. So before we get started, I think we need to give a little couple shout outs. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to our 4 horsemen. We got Uncle Rudy, we got Something Wong, we got Deanime, etc., and we've got Glenn 2K12 from across the pond. Thank you, fellas. We really appreciate you guys. We also want to give a huge shout out to our DJ, our resident DJ, Beats by Monster. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you so much. And let's give a shout out to the crowd. So who do we have in the chat today? We got Key Comic. What's going on? Always first in the chat. Thank you so much. We got Mama's Comics, Lucy. What's going on, Lucy? Hope the family's doing well and your whatnots are going well as well. We've got Lord Chucks in the building. What's going on, Lord Chucks? Thank you for dropping in. We got X11 Bravo Comics. What's going on, sir? And wow, Cool Gamer. All right, we got a pretty full house today. I hope you guys have all watched episode 3 or don't mind spoilers. So I don't know. You guys so Candace, what have you, since you weren't here the first time, what did you think of episode 1 and 2?
Oh my god. Okay, so I'll give you guys some background and everybody else of just like I definitely have just started getting more into Miss Marvel between the show and the comics. It had been something I wanted to like read for a while, but then I thought, okay, now you're gonna be doing these reviews. You probably should get around to reading it. And oh my god, like I understand why the hype. I really do. Yeah, so with the show, I love the first 2 episodes a lot. And because I had just read the comics, I was seeing already like the parallels between like, you know, exact scenes being taken out from the comics and even like, you know, certain lines. So that was really great to see like what they already had pulled from there. And then of course I saw some differences too. But I remember even just like the opening with like the weekend blasting and everything. I was like, oh, I already gonna like this show. Which funny story, when I actually watched that when I was on the plane and I had my earbuds in and I literally thought I had left like the music on and then while like it was playing and I was like, oh wait, nope, this is a show, this is awesome. Yeah, but I've been really loving it. I really love, of course, like Kamala Khan as a character, and the actress who plays her is adorable, and I think she like fits her to a T. I watched your guys' review from last week, so like there was definitely some things that I wanted to comment about. Like I know one of you guys has said like she's kind of like the female version of Peter Parker, which I think is also why I like her so much. I've always loved like Spider-Man as a character, especially like even with Tom Holland's version, just because it's like just your very like normal type of teenager. So she's very relatable. And then I really like that as a, like she's really into, of course, like fandoms and art, which is literally me. I'm a graphic designer for who doesn't know. So like I've always loved art, and I really appreciate seeing like her illustrations come through, which I think even one of you commented on this about it's kind of the style of those animations reminds me a lot of like Scott Pilgrim, which is also like one of my favorite series and movies. So I really like seeing that and how it's just a creative take on just showing, you know, text messages or scenes and things like that that other like shows haven't, I don't think they've really done yet. I mean, I feel like every show has something different, but I feel like that's what makes that show like unique in general. But yeah, the first episode I thought was just really good for like introductory, good way to show like her powers and who she is a character, introduce her family and her family dynamic and her culture, which I love so much. Like seeing that in a character, and like that's something that's never really been touched on in like, you know, definitely other movies or other series. So it's like really cool to see that dynamic and how important it is with her character and her life. And it's not just about her being superhero, it's about like so many other things. And then yeah, episode 2 was also really great. Finally like starting to fill in some more pieces and understanding of like how you know, with the how the Banglet, like how that like ties into more than just like, you know, it's like with ancestral. And I know that was a different part than from with the comics when I was reading, that was very different, but I've liked how they've been able to elaborate on that and kind of give it more of a purpose of why it's, you know, it ties into more than just giving her abilities, but with her like culture and her family as well. So that was my thoughts so far on it, but I'm loving it. So I'm excited to chat through.
We can tell.
I know the look on your face, man. This is great.
Yeah,
I've
been ready for this.
If we give you the whole show, I think you could talk about just the first episode alone.
For anyone who didn't join last week's show.
Yeah, this is definitely being one of those fun shows that Disney Plus has put on.
Yeah.
It's definitely different. It's definitely stylized. It is very I want to say it is aimed toward kids and teenagers and very, but that doesn't mean you can't relate to it in some ways. We've all been a teenager, so I mean, I think we can relate back to being one. Some of us forget sometimes. But yeah, I mean, where we left off on the second episode, Kamala makes her second save. Right, she saves Zoe, now she saves this little kid who wanted to take a selfie of himself hanging outside the ledge of a window. How many times have we heard stupid stories like that? You know, so I do realize that they did kind of hammer that over your head when he does this little exposition about, oh, I shouldn't have done this. So I think, yeah, that's where you go, okay, it's definitely aimed toward kids. Because you know, we can, as adults, we can conclude that. But yeah, and then we also have a moment of where Kamala is very sure of herself. She's trying to save this boy, but then she has a moment where she doubts herself, because then she something happens where the Bango gives her a vision of a person, and she is shocked. She loses control of her powers. She loses the kid. The kid is falling down, and and this is like almost like Spider-Man as well, where first part is like she's like Ms. Marvel, where she tries to grab him with her arm, right, an extended arm, and then she starts shooting out these little lights like Peter Parker would, right?
Yeah.
Like his spider webs, and she manages to save the kid from like getting seriously hurt. He hurts his ankle. Ow, my ankle. You know, I know it's just like they beat you over the head with kind of some of these like exposition, and I'm just like, okay, he could have grabbed his ankle and we wouldn't have to hear him say that. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just funny. And but then she doubts herself because she's like, oh, I messed up. I almost hurt him. I almost killed him. And she runs off. And then she gets chased by drones. We find out that the DODC is after her. If you don't know, Department of Damage Control. What was that?
That's my boyfriend.
Okay.
He saw me like, cause I was like, I'm gonna watch Miss Marvel right now, and he's doing his own thing, and I'm like this, like jamming in my seat. He's like, what is going on?
Hey, the music's pretty enticing.
Yeah.
So I mean, seriously, like, it's definitely music I've never heard before, but I was like, I can rock with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she gets chased by a DODC, and then she's saved by, is it Cameron? And
Yep.
and his mother. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how we leave it. And now we're in episode 3, Destined. Okay, so before we get started, Alonzo, what did you think of episode 3?
Oh my god, I loved it. And kind of how I mentioned earlier, I really enjoyed the fact that each episode they're building on top of each other. You
Mhm.
get little tidbits of information about the character, about the bangle, about everything. And this episode, I love the fact that they showed a typical like Pakistani wedding.
Yes.
And I thought that
love
was
that.
the best part of the show
Mhm.
was trying to normalize all these things that we don't see, and to have them show it and to have them perform the dance. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like, why was I invited to a wedding like that?
Right?
See, it's telling you to diversify, Alonzo, diversify.
I know.
How about you, Candace? What did you think of episode 3?
Okay, well, first of all, I totally agree with you. I was watching that whole scene and just like loving it. And I was like, oh my god, I need to go to a wedding like that.
Right?
It just like, I mean, I just love that kind of stuff. Like of just like, well, for me, I'm half Hispanic, so I've like seen different, you know, Hispanic weddings and how different that is. I was telling Alonzo, I just went to a wedding in Trinidad and like different types of like Caribbean music. Like I'm all for that. So I love just seeing like someone else's culture and like seeing like a wedding and seeing like how that you're right, how it's like a normalizing the story. And it's not just about like her powers and things like that. So yeah, as a whole, the episode was really good, and I agree it was like really good about like building on to everything that we're like still like learning. We learned a lot about, of course, like her family and her ties to well, to what would they call the Jin, the Jin clan of people, which was just like crazy. Because of course, like the last episode left on such a good cliffhanger, so it was good to like jump into that right away and like actually have some like answers, and then kind of just see it. Like I was really worried that like Kamran was gonna be like more of like a villain, but or at least like or like, you know, where he like would pretend to actually like her and then he would like, you know, betray her. But it sounds like well, at least for now, it seems like we can trust him. So I really love seeing that build on. Of course, like more things with what's his face. Why am I linking on it? Bruno, of course. Yeah, Brian. I know. Ironically, I was thinking Bruno. Brian, but I couldn't.
It would have worked either way. We would have understood.
Oh my god, I've been laughing with that whole Brian bit. But yeah, and just I always feel bad for him. I'm just like seeing of how, you know, he's not only he's so friend zoned, but just like I love seeing like their dynamic and everything. And like I think you guys have even said this, like he's basically his like guy or her guy in the chair. So I've been enjoying seeing how he's been able to help as well. I'm trying to think what else I liked about it. It was just I feel like majority of it was just learning about like the Banglet and learning about that group of Jin, and just I think that was really good for just like world building, understanding her abilities and stuff, and just seeing like not only as these people looking for her, but then the government's looking for her, and now it's like all these people are after her basically, and she's just like trying to figure everything out because she still doesn't even know how to use her powers fully and everything like that. So really great episode. It's just getting better and better, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely an important episode to watch. It's definitely for the 40 minutes that we got, it was a lot of information in it. A lot of Easter eggs. I know some of it wasn't caught by you, but I'm so excited to talk about them.
Please. I know.
The
I
connections,
Do it.
everything. But I want to agree with Alonzo and Candace. I love the wedding. I love the hold on, sorry. I love the whole pre-wedding as well, you know, getting up ready up to the wedding, you know, where they, you know, they're putting the I don't know, is it
Henna.
henna? Yes.
Yeah, the henna
I
color.
almost said hentai. I almost messed it all up. I knew it was start with the H and it ended with the but yeah, they were doing the henna on Taisha and
Aisha.
is it Aisha?
Or no, it's not Aisha. Oh no, wait. Aisha's the one
Taisha.
that's related to them. Never mind. Is it
So it's Taisha, right? I think that's his wife.
I'm mixing up their names.
I'm trying to remember here. I'm sure I'll come across it later, but and then the fact like there's a joke on Amir where you know there's tradition to hide his shoes from him.
Oh, yeah.
A pair of his shoes, and the kid, like you see him running down the stairs in the background. I was like, why is this kid running around with shoes? And then the payoff is like a minute later where he's like, ha ha, guys, okay, you're only supposed to hide one pair of shoes. Okay. You know, like, so I really like that part of like family life, like the what makes a character so close to the heart and mean so much to people is like seeing the depth of themselves, but also like the people around them and who they're dealing with. And it's very heartwarming to see a hero being born not out of like strife. You know, it's someone who has a loving family and has a full family and is going through, you know, just life. So I mean that's very refreshing. And I think that's why I really love Captain Marvel. So that's where she's actually really different from Peter Parker, where he doesn't have this tragic background, right?
That's very true.
So starting with this, we start with a flashback. We go into a British colonized India in 1942. So this is in the middle of World War II. Right in the middle of the what was it called? The
partition.
Thank you. Right where, you know, Britain is leaving India to itself, or Bangladesh to itself, and then they split into India and Pakistan, and these families are being torn apart. And I can like totally relate to that. My grandfather, you know, he fought for World War II in China, but then right after World War II, the communists come in and there's a civil war, and he has to get his family out of there in order to save their lives, basically, right? So that's basically what we start with, and when we start with these people searching for something, and it's I want to get their names right, so let me just get them. It is Namja, I believe. Oh shoot.
I like how you took notes for this, Jeff. That's awesome.
I had to. I just had to. Okay, so Adam, Salim, Fariha, Najma, and then her grandmother, who is Aisha.
Yeah, that's Aisha.
Aisha, right? So we find out that they're looking for the bangle, and they happen to find the bangle. So they're in this cave, depressed ground, where there's a bunch of statues that have been they're either around, very ornate, and some have been knocked over. You can tell there's a bunch of rubble, and as they're digging through the rubble, they discovered a severed arm. And the severed arm is blue.
Yes.
So in the MCU, if we're gonna talk about Captain Marvel, we're gonna talk about blue people. We're gonna talk about the Kree.
Yep.
Right, because there's blue skin and there's pink skin. And obviously, I believe in mythology as well. They're also their gods are blue, or some of them are. So I think that really fits in, and so when they find the bangle, they mention something where they say the man in the temple says we need two to go back home. And they only find the one, so they're wondering where the second one is. And then they mention something where the British have already looted this, multiple times, so they probably have it. So now we have got another connection where maybe there's a second bango that is in London right now in the British Museum, for all we know, under the Black Knight's care, or curating, for all we know, right? So there's all these connections, but as they find it, all five of them are standing there, and they're saying, well, this is gonna have to do, we're gonna have to try to get home with this. But then they're getting attacked, and people are closing in, and as they separate, there's a shot overhead.
Yes.
And it is the 10 rings on the ground. So the 10 rings is connected to this, completely connected to Iron Man, to Wenwu and Shang-Chi's father, connected to the 10 rings, and maybe that's what Shang-Chi's 10 rings was calling out to another dimension.
Ooh,
so
could be.
They might not be the same bangle. There still might be another missing bangle, but it seems like they're coming from the same era, and there's a connection to all of them, where maybe this is something when we was searching for, he was searching for the bangles for more power. So I mean, once you have power, it doesn't mean you're always satisfied.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, it's awesome. We get that little connection, and then we find out that Kamala's talking to them inside a kitchen, and she's telling them, she's finding out that one of them, they're pretty much been on Earth for 100 years. They've been exiled, and they've been known as the Jinn, or also another name is the Clandestines. That is also a reference to a group in the comic books, but very, very little known group and very little used group. But we go past that. They are also from a different dimension. So basically, Kamala Khan is partly a different dimension character, or alien, basically. And that's probably why she has that power within her. And that they were only able to find her because of the Noor, which is light in Urdu, and they're looking for the light dimension, the Noor dimension, which is where they're from. And it seems like she's only able to access the power. The Bengals, activates her power, and she's only able to access it because she's from this Earth. Whereas the Jinn are not from this dimension. So if it looks like the Jinn need her help to get back home. So I mean, what do you guys think so far of like the beginning that we got, the story, the connections already? I mean, just off the bat, we're already getting crazy Easter eggs and connections.
Go ahead, Candace.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that was definitely good recap for me, even though I just watched it. But yeah, just that was just really important to like be able to understand, of course, now why they're looking for her, and then kind of so basically they wouldn't be able to just take the bracelet off of her and like do it themselves, right? They need her because it's her that has that ability in there. It's not like it's going to trigger it within someone else, right?
It's weird. They have Noor within them as well, which is what allows them to stay young. But the problem is they're not from this realm, so they can't access the bangles. The bangle can't access the power of the Noor. So it's useless to them, basically, I guess, is what she was saying, which didn't make any sense because her looked like the grandma was able to use it.
Yes, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm a little confused. Maybe there's a little plot hole or something that maybe it's a plot, because when we get later into the episode, it turns on Kamala. Instead of this being a nice meeting, it's no longer a nice meeting,
Mhm.
and maybe they need a sacrifice in order for them to get to the other side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know. I felt really bad for her, just like seeing of how she's like, I thought you guys were gonna protect me and everything, and just being like, slap in the face, like, nope, we just basically need to use you, or to get home, and like they don't actually care about her, which was why it was great. Like it was good that like actually Kamran actually seemed to like actually care, and like hopefully he'll actually be of help to her. And well, I mean, I guess he was, because he went to go that all went down during the wedding, so. I mean, he actually like went to look for everything. But yeah, I feel like so far, it was really interesting to just like learn about all of that. And it's good we're just getting that right away, with only in like episode 3, and even at the beginning of the episode, just having the flashback and everything. So,
Alonzo?
No, yeah, totally. I enjoyed the first, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes. It was just so much backstory. I like how, again, like Candace said, that they're kind of like world building, and I really enjoyed all that history. I also like the fact that they named her power. Like her power is called the Nor, and that she's not an inhuman per se or a mutant. She's from a different dimension.
We still don't know that,
No,
sir.
no,
Because
I
blue-skinned
know,
people are
but
connected to the Inhumans, sir.
but I like the fact that they're not, they're saying, hey, different dimension, right? They didn't come out and say mutant or come out and say inhuman or anything like that.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
For
For
now.
now, of course. For now. But I dug it. I think it was great. And to Candace's point as well, I really did think, because based on the comic book, I mean, Cameron is a bad guy.
Yep.
But in this show, like, he isn't. He actually has feelings for her, like whether they're like for friendship or for more. I mean, you can see that he does care and says like, hey, you need to leave now, and stands up to his mother and says like, I thought we were supposed to protect her,
Yeah.
So seeing that, I'm like, oh my god, like this
He's
is
enamored with her,
great.
yeah.
You're adding complexity to this character.
It's a good surprise for us comic book readers, because I mean, that's what we expected. We expected him to be on the other side of the fence, and he's actually trying to help her and save her, and even against his own mom. So it's a nice turn of event for us. But I mean, what you said, it's good world building. I mean, we even get more world building. So we get to Bruno, and she asks Bruno for help to getting these people back to their dimension. And he mentions reading a paper by Eric Selvig. And if y'all don't know, Eric Selvig is the scientist in Thor. So yep,
I'm learning things.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we're pointing out all these things, because it's like either I don't need to usually remember these types of things, or just like trying to put 2 and 2 together. Because I even I remember the last episode you guys had, even with the thing with the connection with the Eternals, I was like,
oh yeah, well,
I was like, oh my god, how did I miss that? And I was watching with my boyfriend, and he's like, yeah, I knew that. I'm like, well, I didn't.
So I love it when they do subtle Easter eggs. They don't just hit you over the head with it and hammer over the head, because that means you have to watch it multiple times, and then you'll catch even more stuff when you watch it that second or third time. But I love that they connected it there. And we also learned that the DODC damage control goes to raid the mosque. And Nakia basically stands up, says, you don't have a warrant, get out. And I love how he was like, agent, and take off your shoes next time you come in. Just kind of is that culture, explaining, I like that where they explain it that way. And he was very kind, and he's just used to FBI, which they mentioned in the previous episode, where like the FBI is already monitoring them anyways. Kind of that was a little more in your face.
Yeah.
And then we also find out that as bad as Kamala felt about saving the boy, her video goes viral, and there are people cheering at the end of these videos that she saved the boy. So it's a, I guess, an uplifting feeling for her, not, knowing that maybe wasn't as bad as she thought it was. It's, and that kind of says something to most teenagers, right? Where most teenagers think like the smallest thing is like the worst thing in the world. It's the end of the world. So it's kind of that mentality. And then Nakia comes in and says she's won the election. And But she has a problem with this new superhero, because they cause these people to come and raid the mosque. They've inconvenienced them. She even mentions a line, something like, it's like as if we need another problem like this. And that it's good versus bad Muslims, where we'll give up people. And there's truth in what she says in today's reality, right?
Yeah.
And that works across the board. You don't have to be Muslim, you can be Republicans at this point. So I mean, you understand that plight of people pitting people against other people. And then she even mentions, like, does this hero even think about that, or is she aware of it and she just doesn't care? So obviously she's talking to the actual hero. She doesn't know it, but it gives Kamala thought. Kamala has to think about these things now, because when you want to be a hero and you want these powers, you don't think of the responsibility that goes with it. So this is almost that roundabout way of saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And then we get to one of the best parts, is Amir's wedding. And like I said, we go through the pre-wedding traditions. We have the mom talking to the aunties, talking about her mother not showing up, talking about in their culture, mother and daughters have hard relationships. I think that's in every culture. But I think then they go to the wedding. Am I getting too far ahead of myself? I think I am. Bruno leaves a box for Kamala. And they're actually talking about this hero that has inconvenienced everybody. and what people think about this hero. And so Kamala's downing herself again.
Well, she needs to change her name for one. I mean, they're calling her the Nightlight.
Oh my god, and she hates it. I mean, I hate it, frankly, too.
One of her best friends hates it. Her best friend is like, that's not a good name. Nightlight? Oh,
the Nightlight.
That's like a 3-year-old's superhero right there.
Yeah, I think she even says something like that. It's like I'm like 5. I wanted to add something else that I thought, like, I've noticed in this episode of just how many great conversations she had with. She had a really great one with her dad, and then had a really great one with her mom, which were like two different things. But I'm hoping I'm not gonna butcher the quote, but I remember like her dad said something about like, people aren't good, they do good. And I really, I loved that so much.
Yeah, that wasn't the father. That was the.
It wasn't.
Like,
What's it?
What did they call it?
I don't want to say rabbi, because
I know it's not rabbi. I'm not going to say that.
But he's like the head of the mosque.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. But either way, I really love that quote from there.
And that actually happens next, right? Because she's outside. She's thinking about these things. She had just, been told, don't be a bother to your mom. Don't have that relationship, where she's literally in that relationship at that time, where she had just broken some rules. The parents are upset with her. So like, she's in this space where she's in her own head. She goes outside to have a little bit of air, finds out, that she's holding Bruno's little box. And then the head of the mosque comes out, and she just, casually asks what he thought about this hero. and he goes, no, what do you think about this hero? And she goes, well, I think it's nice to have someone, a superhero, protecting us, looking out for us. And and she goes, well, maybe, that, this person is not, good enough, or thinking, or they, they're not good. And he's like, well, I think the little boy would think otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, how does this person convince people that she's good? It's like, you don't have to, a person is not good, a person only does good things. So, like, I love that quote. I definitely have that here. It's meaningful. It's actually what we all should live by, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people say they're good people, but they're not necessarily doing good things.
True.
And we see it on TV every day. And maybe it's time for us to stop kidding with ourselves and actually act upon being good, instead of just saying we're good or pretend that we are. And so that, I really love that part of it. And then she finds out that what Bruno gives her is a mask, a very form-fitting mask. And as we all know, the mask that we all know Ms. Marvel to be wearing in the comics. So that's really awesome. I really like the fact that they're building up to her costume.
Yes.
And we're just starting one piece at a time. We're not getting thrown into the lion's den here right away. And that's awesome. So what else do we got? We also got Bruno. He's studying about the djinn. Father comes in and starts helping him. So I don't know. Did I give you guys time to talk about the wedding and stuff like that? The pre-wedding stuff.
I don't think there was anything else.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. All right. All right. We'll move on to the djinn. So he talks about a story about one story about the djinn where they're exiled, and it basically retells the story of what Namja was telling Kamala, right? That there's a exiled jinns, and they're genies, demons, and that they're looking for a key to get back home, but this key to get back home needs a primordial power. Um, probably meaning something expansive, something before time, which means obviously a lot of freaking power. And 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 that's just kind of the exposition that tells us where we're leading to when we go further into the episode. Um, he then tells Kamala that he's going to Caltech, and he can't help them get home at this moment because he can't figure a way to do it without basically blowing something up. Maybe even the earth at this point. And he can't figure out another way to get them home other than, because they need the power of the sun. And he's basically telling them, give us more time. It can't be done right now. And she, awesome. We get that Scott Pilgrim textile. She texts Kamran, and he tells him we need more time. There's, we can't do it right away. And she's going to go to the wedding. So we are at the wedding, and right before the wedding, we get a little father-son talk. I felt this was really funny. So he talks about he only has like $700 in his bank account, but the father says something very great to him. A man has two choices in life. He either chooses to live by fear or to live by love. And he points out the fact that his son walks around on the street, proudly showing his heritage, culture, his religion, and he dares to love a woman and say it in front of the whole world. And so he just says that his son is brave and he lives by love. And I love that Kamala gets to see that,
Mhm.
and gets to understand that what her father says is no matter what you do in life, as long as you have family, you're never alone. And it's just it speaks to how Kamala is going, it like how her hero is going to be, how she's going to be shaped as a hero. Excuse me.
Mhm.
So I think that's super important. So what do you guys think so far of oh gosh, I think I lost to take care of some stuff. Um, what do you think so far of that speech, that talk with Amir, and what Kamala sees?
Let me think about this. I mean, yeah, I really like that part. Again, it's like there's so many good conversations that were had throughout this whole episode. Um, yeah, I think I'm trying to think exactly like how I feel like she thinks about it, but I think, mm, I mean, I feel like right now she's just trying to figure herself out and figure out like what she wants people to basically how they want to view her, and she's caring about how she wants like because right now she feels like she's in the middle of everything where she doesn't want people thinking like with her with everyone at the mosque and everything like that of what they think of her, and making sure that she's actually going to be the like where people can look at her as like a hero and not as like adding to the problem and everything like that. So I feel like she's probably taking that kind of advice and kind of taking it to what she's going through right now, and that's how pretty much how I've been seeing it. But I'm not 100% sure.
Well, how about this? I actually missed a very important talk. We saw the father speak with the son, but we also didn't talk about the mother speaking with the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So she fell off a bike. So she has this little, it was a little jarring because I felt like it was a little out of place. But then I felt like that conversation needed to be shown. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm grateful for that. Just it almost feel like it didn't fit into the just in the flow of the story of the episode. But yeah, she's in the bathroom and she's helping her with her cut or her bruises. And Kamala basically is trying to figure out, having dreamed of something she's always wanted her whole life,
Mm-hmm.
obtaining it, but then now feeling the weight of it, and now feeling like it's a burden now, and also it's not what she thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And so she asked her mother, has she's ever felt the same way? And she says, yeah, America was my mountain.
Mm-hmm.
um, we came here, this is where we wanted to be, to keep our family safe, and to have a better life. But it was so hard. They got paid very little. She barely spoke English, and it was extremely hard for them. And I'm sure they dealt with other things that
Mm-hmm.
that we will, as all immigrants or anybody who's a minority can speak to, where they probably dealt with other stuff other than that, which made it just as difficult. And but she says she found, in order to get past that, to that lonely feeling, she found the mosque. And
Mm-hmm.
then she found her family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel like the whole thing is about, right? Both parents talking about how family is the most important thing, that will hold them all together. And so I love how both parents are giving these speeches to them, and these talks, and how important that is. So can you guys relate?
I mean, let's see. Well, I mean, in general, I did like that whole scene because that was what I was thinking of at the beginning. Was first of all, they don't have the best relationship to begin with, so it was kind of nice to see them like have those kinds of conversations, and like, well, her mom obviously doesn't know what she's going through, but they're still bonding over this. And I thought that even though like you were saying, it was kind of just like a random scene to go into, but then what you got from it, it made a lot of sense. Not only just learning about, about someone that, has immigrated and what that's like and what that feels like, and then having that relate to her, but in like a different way. So I just think, yeah, that was even more, like really important for her to hear, and it probably even just like help them bring a little closer together. Yeah, I think it's important, like, just in general, to hear, like, anyone, their kid, just to be talking about their experiences and just how it's shaped them, whether it's, it is with, immigrating and things like that. Because I mean, my dad, he came to the United States when he was 17, so I've learned about a lot of things from him about, like, what that was like and what it was like, coming here so young and things like that. And I like it. You really learn a lot from that. So I'm sure that did the same for her, and I know she's gonna take that moving forward to what's going on with her. So.
Alonzo, nothing. You good?
I'll save it for another show because it's maybe Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
All right,
No,
all right.
I can definitely relate. I mean, I'm from a biracial family. I'm first generation, so I mean, it's you guys have already touched on those topics already. So I mean, it's just like I feel you. I know what you guys go through. I know what Kamala is going through. So it's endearing. It makes her that more of a character, a well-rounded character. So
yeah, for sure.
Okay, well then let's get to the fun part. We get to the wedding. All right, so
finally,
yes, we get to the
Yes.
wedding. But right before we get to the wedding,
what?
Namja finds a text from Kamran and needs to force the issue now. She's no longer going to be kind about asking to get home.
Yeah.
She's going to force Kamala to take them home. And then we get to the wedding. They do, they have this, celebration. And then they have this dance, this wedding dance for the bride and groom. And Kamala is dancing, Zoe's dancing, Bruno's dancing, even Amir gets into it. So I mean, the mother, the father, the mother-in-law, father-in-law, like the whole family gets to it. It's really fun, just a normal wedding basically. And then Cameron runs in and says, my mom's coming, they're coming for you, they don't care if it's at a wedding. And so Kamala has to make a decision right away. She does the old, distraction, old styles distraction, hits the fire alarm. Everybody gets out. And then you see Kamran's, the jinn come in, the clandestines come in. And now she has to fight them. And this is the great part is that she's not even really fighting them. She's really just defending herself at this point because she doesn't know how to use her powers that well.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to say that I love Bon Jovi.
Oh my God, Brown Jovi,
Brown Jovi, and I like that that we had that song playing while she was fighting.
That was great.
Yeah.
I was dying.
Definitely great. Definitely calls back.
I want Brown Jovi to do my wedding. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean,
and that was the mom's idea. It was the mom's idea for sure. Because remember, Bon Jovi was her jam.
Oh my God,
it was the best.
So good.
Yep.
And then you see this. I like this little snippet. I know it's very little and very short, but there's all this gossip that someone saw Kamala pull the alarm, and the parents hear this in the background, so they're worried, and they're starting to put this picture together because they're not stupid,
right?
And then she fights. Kamala fights the jinn, and in the midst of the fight, Bruno happens to be there, throws a couple of gifts. I don't know what that's gonna do against some jinns, some demons. But he gets, tossed across the room, hurts himself, hurts his arm. If you've seen any of the trailers, he is in a cast at some point, so maybe this is why he's in a cast. And then Kamran comes to his rescue, basically, and defends him from one of the jinn. And he tells Kamala and him to get the hell out of there as he's defending them. Unfortunately, they get down to the ground floor and then they get surrounded. And then right before something happens, Namja grabs Kamala's bangle, and then they have a vision. And just like before, where she sees actually Namja in the first vision, she sees a train, and this train says Karachi on the front. And then the DODC comes in, shoots all the Jinn, arrests all of them, and somehow Kamala and Bruno sneak away. As they're leaving, she closes the door behind them, and then Nakia just happens to show up and sees her use her power. Oh, I know. Very little short. Yes. But she's surprised, and this whole time she's been angry at this superhero. And now she finds out it's her best friend, and she's never told her. So she's super upset now. And as any best friend would know, you would feel betrayed that you weren't told a secret. And Bruno is hurt and injured, but he's telling Kamala, "You need to get out of here. The DODC's after you. They're gonna chase you down." And she's trying to get an explanation from her, but she has to go. And Nakia, so Kamala goes home. Nakia takes Bruno home, and just before we end the episode, she's confronted by her parents when she arrives, and they're asking her, did you pull the alarm? Why did you pull the alarm? We saw some authorities there. Why were they there? What are you involved in? And we just want the truth. And she can't explain anything. As any hero knows, you cannot give away anything when you're going to endanger the people that you love. So she's caught between a hard place and a rock, right?
A rock and a hard place.
Yes. I got it backwards.
You got it.
But yeah, she wants to say them, but she also doesn't want to lie to them, but she has no choice in this matter. And so they're just disappointed, and she goes up to her room and she gets a phone call from her nanny. And this is Sana. This is her grandmother. And she says, you need to come to India, to Karachi, to Pakistan, to Karachi. Is it India? I can't remember. But you're muted, Alonzo. Yeah, so she
Thank you for that. I don't know where Karachi is.
Yeah, I'm not sure
don't
either.
Kill me.
Yeah.
Don't kill me. But yeah, she says you need to get to Karachi. And so does your mother. And she's like, why? Well, didn't you see the train?
She's like, city in Pakistan. There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
I got it right the second time. And she's like, what do you mean you saw the train? She goes, she goes, how did you see the train that I saw from the bangle? And she's like, I saw it too. So obviously her mother has the light in her as well.
Yeah.
And she's able to see this without the bangle, or maybe she has the other bangle. Who knows?
Ooh, maybe.
There you go.
We'll find out, because that's how the episode ends. And I need your guys' opinion on the wedding and the fight, and what this all means, that her grandmother can see the same thing she can. And are we going to India? Are we going to Pakistan? Are we going across the world?
We're going to get Red Dagger. That's what we're going to get.
Yes!
That's what we're going to get. Red Dagger.
All right, so the wedding. Awesome dance, awesome music.
Yep. Bon Jovi, Brown Jovi.
Yeah.
Brown Jovi.
Yeah. So good. Yes, I mean, going from that to like the fight, of course, it's like, nothing stays happy for too long. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to see her like use her power so bad, like in the battle. But obviously, like, she's still trying to figure it out. So it kind of makes sense. Like, wait, she's still figuring it out. So she's just doing what is coming naturally right now. But that was really great. And then I was laughing earlier because when Kamran, like, warns her and everything, and Bruno's trying to like get into the middle of it, and he's like,
he was gonna get his slow
stay
there.
out of it, Brian, again. So there's enough more of that like triangle going
doing
on.
it on purpose.
Oh, of course, of course. So that was just fun. And then I'm trying to remember just everything that we were talking about. Yeah. So then we had the fight, and yeah. So then the whole thing with Nakia, right? So yeah, that was just like I knew that was coming. That they were, she had been wanting to tell her, but then she was like, didn't think she should, especially after like the whole thing of like the conversation they had with the whole like mosque situation. So yeah, my heart was hurting for them, but I like once like they met up with Bruno, and Bruno's like, I got her. Like I'm like, okay, they'll have a conversation, but she'll get over it. So I'm not really worried about that, and it'd be kind of nice to just have her involved. I'm hoping then like they'll just have like a little trio thing going on, and it'll be interesting to see like hopefully her involvement then with everything. Maybe. And then yeah, the whole thing with her grandma. That was just really interesting because she was the one, of course, that sent her the bangle, right? So then, I mean, we can assume then that she knew what she was doing. She's not just giving her like an heirloom for fun here. It's just like she probably knew what was going to happen. But we don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. Like, does she have similar abilities, or maybe she doesn't? It's skipped a generation or something like that. So I'm really just interested to see. I mean, she knows something obviously because she knows like what she saw and everything. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens with her, and yeah, if she ends up going there. Yeah, I think it was again another really good like cliffhanger. They're doing really great on each episode, like leaving us like wanting more. So
And I'm so happy they're not just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alonzo,
I want more. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next episode.
What do you think of this ending? The fights, everything.
Yeah.
Alonzo?
Excuse me?
What did you think? What do you think of the wedding, the fight?
No,
the
wedding was my favorite part. Like just everything about it was great. What I noticed, and I guess you guys have pointed it out, is also like her powers seem to be very defensive.
Mm-hmm.
So in like she's just doing this, and then the power would kind of emit. So it's not really like really offensive, at least not yet. So again, because she's still learning, she's still trying to figure this thing out, and she's just really just kind of reacting to the world around her. But I did notice that the big giant fist, the Embiggen, was there, which was nice.
Twice.
Was
it twice?
Yes.
I only
in the first episode.
No.
How she
twice in this episode, she hits the guy who's fighting Kamran, right?
Yeah.
That was going after Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
And then she hits all three of them. She swipes at all three of them with it, and knocks them out. And so yeah, that was really cool that she was able to not only do defensive, but when she got angry and scared for her friend in defense of them, she went offense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But yeah, she's still learning, and I like it. I love the music choices that they're doing with the show. I think it's fantastic. So
yeah, so I mean, we are at the end of episode 3. We've received some answers, right? We get a little background of her history, what she actually is or related to now, why she has the power within her, what it's called, Noor Light, who the people are chasing her. We got the DODC, and we got the Jinn. And now she has a couple of allies. She's got Bruno. She's now Nakia is going to be involved, right? Zoe was kind of a ally because she was trying not to give away who she was. I feel like she knew who she was because when she mentioned mosque, she kind of flinched. And then and also Kamran. So we'll see what's going to happen because now they got to go to Karachi. Hopefully we see Red Dagger. We'll find more about the history of who she is and where she comes from and what that whole legend about her grandmother is, or great grandmother. And so with that said, anything you want to talk about, Candace, coming up for you?
Well, I'll be back here tomorrow with you guys, which I'm really excited. You'll be learning more about my. I gave you a whole long list of all my.
Oh, yes, you
all my
did.
things. So hope that was fun to read. So I'm excited for that to talk about what we've got this week and everything, and yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm excited. But that's all I have. That's all I have going on for now, which is fine because I've been traveling for the last couple of weeks, so it's just nice to have some
Settle
chill time,
down.
catch up on my reading and stuff. I haven't been able to buy comics for a while because like when you travel, it eats your wallet. So
We understand.
yeah, so I'm just be catching up, and right now I'm on volume 2 of Miss Marvel, so that's where I'm at right now.
Very nice.
Yeah,
it's a good volume.
Yeah, I flew. I'm almost done with it. I've been flying through it already. So, because not only am I trying to keep it up, so I'm like, it sometimes gets confusing when you're trying to read and then you're watching and you're like, wait, did that happen in the comic or the show? And I'm like trying to understand everything and get what, especially for these reviews, like understanding what's relevant to the show and what isn't. But I've been loving both, so it's been just like a fun journey.
Yeah, I still need to read volume 3 and up. I know there's some connections there with some of this stuff, but I haven't gotten that far. I've only read, maybe I read the first 2, 3. I can't remember, but I know I haven't read them all. I can't wait for next week's episode. And now there's no interference. There's no Obi-Wan. So it's just going to be Ms. Marvel talk. Alonzo, anything?
Well, besides having Candace on our Mondo Mail Call show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern, we also have a new show called The Toy Box, which I'm looking forward to seeing. We have Big Rob and Steve talk about all of their toys. Finally. I know, right? And also about where all the new releases are coming, like Hasbro Plus, the SDCC exclusives, Mezco, Hot Toys, you name it, they're going to be talking about it. Super excited for it. It's going to be Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Get ready for your wallets to be hurting.
I will be watching. I saw that come up in the notifications. And I'm like, oh my god, because I'm a big toy nerd also. Oh my god.
They are for Steve. Yes.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
this is awesome. Look, we're learning more about Candace already. This is great.
But yeah, I know. I think I did mention that in my questionnaire. So
yes.
But yeah, so I will definitely want to watch that because that's just a whole other. It's so dangerous when you already have like your comics that you're into, but then toys and my boyfriend's also into toys. He does the whole designer toy games, so it's a lot.
So he's probably got a bunch of hot toys, right?
He's got a bunch of vinyl.
We don't have any I don't think we have any hot toys yet. We just have designer toys.
Yeah, he's got vinyls.
Yeah, like Tara McPherson and like all those ones. I have to think. Cause, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I will be checking that out for sure.
I know what you're talking about. I have them right down there somewhere.
Yeah, I would love to see a close up because that looks awesome.
They're all doodles.
Yeah,
they're down there.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'll show them one day. But yeah, with that said, Alonzo, do you want to take us out?
Yeah. So in this show, instead of if you want to do it right, collect what you like. If you want to do it right, you watch what you like.
Yes.